Hey guys, welcome in. It is a late Friday night here at the Daily Mountain Eagle studio. Brian, Friday the 13th, and all of our teams in our area, except for one, had a lot to be scared of on Friday the 13th. The full moon must have thrown us all off because we had, what, 11 games tonight? Is that what it was? And 10 of our teams lost?
But one of those losses, though, even in the loss, was extremely good.
No,
We'll
that's
talk
true.
about that when we get there, but I actually count that as a very, very, very quality loss.
Well, and we'll probably go through these pretty quick since it wasn't a very good week for teams in the Mountain Eagle coverage area. Let's start off. We had Tarrant and Winston County. This was a shock to us. Tarrant wins 26-6. We really thought Winston County would probably roll by that score, but unfortunately the Yellow Jackets fall short and Tarrant wins that game.
Yeah, and nobody expected that. I mean, we pretty much figured, look, it was at Winston County. Winston County, they had their problems last week with Addison, but they did show some promise in it. But you would have figured, Winston County should have established tempo. They didn't, apparently. So.
Well, and another game with a shocking final score. I can't say that I'm shocked Cold Springs beat Summerton Christian. Summerton Christian did not won a game coming in, but I really thought they would win this game. But they lose 50-12 to Cold Springs. That's a terrible loss for the Eagles, who had looked good in their first three games.
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking last week, the fight that they put up to Soligent, which is a very quality team. Oh man, it's like they've gone backwards.
Well, in the game that you were talking about, that was a close loss, which probably could end up being a moral victory. The Oakman Wildcats played Gordo to a 13-7 game, and that's a big shock.
Yeah, now Gordo is a very high quality team. They have been a consistent third, fourth round, even championship contender for several years. For Oakman to go on the road and only lose by 6 points, that says a lot about what the Wildcats are capable of this year. That could end up being 1-2 right there when the region standings are over with.
Definitely could be. Yeah, I do want to remind everybody they are watching the DME PrepZone wrap-up show. Always go to DMEPrepZone.com. That's where you get all your scores every Friday night, and then throughout the week you get schedules, results, region standings, directions to the game, like anything you need that involves our high school football teams. DMEPrepZone.com, and we have to thank Southern Orthopedic as well as all of our other sponsors that you see on the ticker below.
So, absolutely.
How about, Brian, we go to Hubbartville. Hubbartville 48-24 over Meek. That's probably about what we expected.
I mean, honestly, I remember at one point it was 48-6 or 48-8, somewhere in there. So it's obvious Hub plugged in their number twos in this, but I think we've pretty much known it's going to be hard for Meek to find a win this year.
Well, but good to see Meek continue to fight and battle there in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
They scored 16 points in the fourth quarter, so it shows the Tigers are not giving up. They're still playing hard. It's just, they're a little outmanned at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another Winston County game, which was a blowout, and we kind of saw this one coming. Pickens County 42, Lynn 6, but this game was 6-6 at halftime.
I know, and that was the big shocker. I mean, we all know, anybody who's followed football in this area for a long time, Pickens County is an upper crust team. This is a team that has constantly scored wins and gone to the final round of the state playoffs. That Lynn was able to have a 6-6 was awesome, but apparently Pickens County changed the game plan, and they just came out and dominated that second half.
Yeah, they did something for sure. They scored 36 unanswered points. That's quite a second half there.
Yeah, it is.
And they didn't let up. They scored 21 of those in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So I guess after that struggle in the first half, they decided they were going to shut the door and keep it shut.
That's probably, I can't gauge this, but I think that's a head coach challenging their players.
Right, definitely so. How about Hamilton at Dora? This one was a surprise to us with Hamilton coming out with a 28-21 win. If it would have been played at Hamilton, I might would have said, yeah, Hamilton wins by a touchdown, but I really thought Dora would bounce back in this one. Maybe they still had a little bit of a haze and hangover from the big loss last week to Jasper.
That's could be definitely it. Now, I heard over the radio as I was coming back in, with 40 seconds left, it was 28-21. So Dora had their last chances. But yeah, you almost begin to wonder how much has it affected them.
Right.
The loss last week, the shellacking last week. Going forward, it's going to be really something to see what if Dora can regroup itself, because they can't be in free fall mode.
Well, now they've dropped to 0-2 in the region, and that's not a place where you want to be sitting when you've got teams above you like Jasper and Russellville and Hamilton now. It's going to be a tough road for Dora. They're going to have to pick up some wins over some quality teams if they're going to fall in that third or fourth playoff spot.
Absolutely.
How about we go to the Addison game? Red Bay 16, Addison 10.
And now this is one that I did not expect, because you looked at Red Bay's body of work. They hadn't played anybody, and you're just expecting, what is going on with this, And we weren't there, obviously. We have no idea what it could have been, if it could have been home cooking or what. But it was really unexpected. From what we've seen of Addison, they've just been dorm breakers. Even in the loss to Piedmont,
Right.
It was because of 8 turnovers. This is completely unexpected.
Yeah, definitely. I was shocked to see the Red Bay win. Red Bay undefeated, though. Now they're 4-0, and they're moving up the rankings. How about Hale County 27-6 over Carbon Hill? We thought Carbon Hill had kind of turned the corner and that they were playing a lot better, and their offense had scored some points last week. But then this week on the road at Hale County, Coach Hastings, that used to be at Oakman, he knows Carbon Hill, so picks up this win 27-6.
You had to pretty much figure that he has seen Coach Williams scheme, Coach Chavis Williams scheme for a while. He's familiar with the guys on defense over there. So I would say that probably was a huge advantage coming into this. And, Coach Hastings is very good at strategizing and breaking stuff down. So I think that probably went largely into it.
I'll tell you, a game that sounded like it was a heck of a football game was Cordova at Fayette County. 34-27, Fayette County wins. These Blue Devils, they keep playing tough. Like, they're playing it right to the wire every week and just can't come up with that win. But you got to think that's going to change soon.
Yeah, don't look at the wins and losses. I know it matches last year, but trust me, this is completely different. Last year, it was just beat down after beat down. This is completely different. They're going to turn the corner.
Oh, yeah.
But I think this was actually a quality loss, much like the Gordo Oakman was. This is a quality loss for Cordova.
Well, and Cordova is, a few plays away from having 3 wins instead of no wins.
Absolutely.
At this point in the season. So it's just they're not catching the breaks, and that's a sign of a young team who's still learning to win. But I think they're well on their way and playing some good football. And it's not your Tucker family Fayette County teams for sure, but Fayette County's still power no matter what.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've still got athletes that were coached by them, that instilled and know. I mean, this is 1 year doesn't automatically take away the talent.
Right.
They have brought up that talent ever since it was in Pop Warner.
Right.
So you've still got those athletes there.
All right, another couple of local teams playing each other. Jasper on their first road game goes to Corner. Jasper picks up a 42-0 win. We really thought a few weeks ago this would be a close game, maybe a region championship type game, but Corner's been just bit by the injury bug. They were missing 7 starters on offense, 4 starters on defense, and just couldn't move the ball on the Jasper defense, which is stout. And then they couldn't really stop Jasper's offense either. But Jasper wins 42-0. There was a tremendous play in the game. I was at that game. There was a toss from freshman quarterback Spencer Rosenfeld, threw the ball 37 yards. It was broken up by a corner defender while Xavier Waldrop was trying to catch the ball. Waldrop hits the ground, the ball falls right at his chest, and he holds on to it for a touchdown. That was the first score of the game to put Jasper up 7-0.
Almost seems like something that their wide receiver coach could have done maybe years
Right.
ago.
Yeah. Is there anybody on that Jasper sideline that's made a pretty catch in the past?
I think so.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah, it seems like somebody won
Legendary.
an ESPY maybe for it.
Yeah, I think he has to acknowledge Coach Prothrow for some good coaching.
Coach Moore was not very happy after the game. I talked to him at halftime and after the game. He was upset that his offense couldn't keep things rolling. They didn't play with the discipline that he likes to see. There were a couple of personal foul calls on players, and it really was a kind of an odd game to watch for Jasper because the offense didn't click, but they still scored 42 points.
And still pitched a shutout.
Right, and
So-
it's second straight week the defense has pitched a shutout. Defense played really well. The star on offense was J.C. Collins. He had about 170 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then defensively, Kevon Samuel had a 90-yard pick six.
Wow. Well, honestly, right now, I think Jasper's playing like a pack of rhinos right now, just trampling over people. The big thing right now, though, is we know what's coming up in 2 weeks.
Right.
Does Jasper keep centered next week?
Right.
Because if they do and they play well, we all know the game of the century is coming up in 2 weeks in our area.
Right.
So,
Well, and Jasper has Hayden next week for homecoming. You got all the homecoming distractions, and then Hayden's not a very good opponent.
No.
So they've got to keep focusing that and keep trying to get better as they will play number 2, Central Clay, on the road in Lineville, which will be like you said, a game of the century type game, but it's going to be a tough environment to go to, and playing against a very tough team that won a state championship last year.
Absolutely.
All right, Brian, the last game we have, you were at it, broadcasting for MountainEagle.com, and it was Oak Grove in what we call a surprise win. Oak Grove beats Curry 49-28. What can you say about that game?
Well, Curry had its opportunities. It really did. They had a lot of problems, though. Curry consistently ran up the middle, and Oak Grove have 2 massive defensive tackles that were constantly stymieing that. When Curry went to the outside, when they passed to the outside, they found some success. But they had 4 turnovers, which obviously is going to be very, very, very difficult to wage under. And plus, defensively, they just could not stop Oak Grove. They had maybe 2 stops in the game. Oak Grove made a ton of penalties. So that even further said, hey, Curry had its opportunities. They just couldn't capitalize. And, we've got a video of what Coach Fauché said. I think some of his comments says is exactly right. They've just got to get more physical.
Right, yeah. Our man Friday, or our guy who makes Fridays happen for us, Jeffrey Winborn, was on the sideline for the game, and he interviewed Coach Fauché. Let's see what he's got to say.
Oak Grove had some success running the ball. It seemed like the defense got a little gas there toward the end. Would you say that, I don't want to say they gave up because your team fought back. Even after getting down multiple scores, multiple occasions, they kept fighting back. Would you say you just got tired there toward the end? What does it say about the fight in your team?
Well, I mean, we got some that have that fight. We don't have enough that's got that fight yet. And when we can get more, that's hard work and determination and want to. It's contagious. So hopefully we get a lot more of our kids to have that. I mean, we have some play with some want to, but we got a bunch. I don't know. I don't see it. And it's extremely frustrating. We're not playing the game the way it needs to be played.
It seemed like you guys started to build. We're going to build some momentum there at the end of the first half. That was a weird series. You had that turnover. They scored that touchdown. Can you describe what happened there at the end of the first?
I have to go back and look at the film. I'm not real sure. I just know we turned the ball over offensively and defensively. We didn't tackle very well. And, they got a good football player there in their quarterback. Number 20, he's a heck of a football player. And you can't arm tackle that guy. You got to come, you got to game tackle a guy like that. And I don't know. We got too many guys waiting on somebody else to make something happen. And you can't, it's hard to win football games when you got guys like that. We got too many standing around waiting for somebody else to make a play.
You guys are scoring on some explosive plays, but you weren't able to sustain drives. What were they doing to stop you guys?
They just whipping us up front. We got whipped up front. We didn't give Andrew enough time, at quarterback to throw the football. And we could give him some time. He could throw it and complete some balls, but we didn't give him enough time. And they whipped us up front. We broke loose and scored a little bit there, in certain situations. But we got sustained drives. We got to be able to be physical up front. We're not there. We got to keep working.
You got Fayette County next week. What do you want to see from your team in practice this week?
Fight. This desire, want to, you know. And it's tough. It's tough. We got to start back over Monday and go back to work. We got to work harder and get better. That's all there is to it. You know, that's all there is to it.
And Brian, you heard what Coach Foshee said. You know, it's just a struggle right now. But Curry, they continue to fight. But he's wanting to find some guys who have a little heart and want to push through. You know.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway in that I really saw outside of what I acknowledge as physical is he's out there saying we need guys. You've got guys that are standing around waiting for somebody else to make something. He's looking for leadership is basically what he's saying.
Right.
And until they find that moving on, look, there are some guys out there that are making great plays. Ethan Weidman was stellar tonight. We saw guys like Levi Tidwell. Those guys are seniors. What he's looking for is some of these underclassmen, because otherwise when those seniors get, he's just flipping the reset button.
Right, definitely. Well, you know, like we said, it was a tough game around the area. Everybody lost but Jasper. And hopefully that will not be what we're talking about next week. Before we go, let's talk about a couple of college games. There's not much on the schedule this week, really. Not a very good college football weekend. Auburn's got a cupcake. They're going to win that game easy. Alabama's going to South Carolina.
With no Jake Bentley.
Right. Now, and in the past, we've said Alabama's going to South Carolina, and that's going to be an easy win, and it didn't happen. You know, this is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I think Alabama wins this one quite easy, though.
Yeah, it's a different game without Jake Bentley in there.
Yeah.
I know they beat Charleston Southern 72-10 last week. That's a Division II school.
Right.
You know, that's a big difference. So I don't see the Tide having too many problems in this one.
All right, Brian, we're going to talk about Tennessee. That's our joke every week now is Tennessee. Can they win?
Can they win? Yeah. But they had better win. Let's just call with the opponent what they are. They're the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. If they lose to their quote-unquote child, look out.
Yeah, it'll be bad. It'll definitely be bad. Florida playing Kentucky.
Well, at this point right now, I know Florida has gotten some injuries during the UT Martin thing. Felipe Franks has not been really that consistent, but I got to think that they don't lose this one to Kentucky. I think this is a definite, yeah, they're going to win it. So for right now, I'm going to go Florida. That doesn't mean that I don't hope that the Kentucky Wildcats pull this out. But I still think that Kentucky is young in too many areas that Florida's experienced in.
Yeah, I think Florida wins that one. Kentucky's they're injured, young. They're just not going to pull that game out, I don't think. You know, people talk all the time in Jasper like there's not a lot to do, but I always find myself being fairly busy. One thing that people can do tonight after the Alabama game's over with, there's something happening at Swan Gym. New Era Wrestling. I have to self-promote my wrestling organization. So if anybody's out there watching, come to Swan Gym tonight at 7:30. New Era Wrestling presents Boiling Point. We'll have some great wrestling action, and I will have a huge announcement during the show about a talent that we've signed that will be coming to Jasper in November. And I mean, it's huge. It's somebody who's been in WWE. I would call him a legend, future Hall of Famer, and people will not want to miss that.
And come on out and watch my two buddies, Bubba Cagle and Cody Wyndham, beat up on the Rugrats. I don't know what those guys' names are. They're a bunch of Rugrats. They couldn't have kicked their way out of a wet paper bag.
Hey, Cody and Bubba's got a tough fight. And then you never know, half the time I end up getting beat up. So hopefully I don't get beat up tomorrow night. But it happens more times than not at a lot of shows. So hopefully I'm still standing on my 2 feet by the end of the night.
Well, hopefully so. Maybe you won't take a chair shot.
Okay. 7:30, Swan Gym. Come to Swan Gym and check out New Era Wrestling. You don't want to miss it. It's a fun family, all for family. Kids love it. And so come out and check that out. Brian, let's hope we got better things to talk about next week. We need to talk about wins, about all of our local schools.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess for you got anything else to say?
Nope. Have a good week, everybody, and we will see you. We don't know where we're going to be at yet, but we will see you next week.
Next week we'll be at a great high school game.
Absolutely.
For Brian Hale, for our producer Jeffrey Winborn, I'm James Phillips. We'll see you guys later this week.